It's Rob!
Tony!
We're in gaming!
And that's you!
Hello gamers and welcome back to the inn. I'm Rob, of course, or Warshack if you want to call me by my in-game name. And today we're going to be hopefully going from rank, I believe, 7 to 6 in this Road to Legend episode. We are going to be playing something different than our normal mid-range Shaman, Cthulhu Druid, and the mid-range Hunter. We're actually going to play some N'Zoth Paladin due to the fact that we haven't played it in a while since the deck guide. And it was a really fun deck when we made the deck guide. So hopefully by the time we release this video, the deck guide will be out and we can kind of bounce off that. But if that's not out yet, then you can expect the deck guide for our N'Zoth Paladin to come out pretty soon, which is kind of exciting because I really enjoyed this deck a lot. It doesn't necessarily play the same as Control Warrior, but it's a control-esque deck, and I like mostly mid-range to control decks. If you notice, we don't really play many aggro decks or many really aggressive decks because there's just, I don't know, it's just not my style. Maybe later on, if they become, more fun to play or whatnot, then we could go that direction. But for now, I think what we're going to stick at is probably doing like 75% mid-range to control decks, and then the other 25% of the deck guides and whatnot might be aggro, just so we can have a good, semi-good split. But hopefully you guys understand. For those of you who are unfamiliar with our Road to Legends, I'm going to mention this a couple times at the beginning of every season because I know some of the newer inmates may not understand this series or what it means. Because every series we have people going, okay, you hit Legend this season, is Road to Legend over? No Road to Legend every season, whether it be January, February, March, every time the rank resets, a new Road to Legend begins. From probably around rank 7, 8-ish, and then we go down to Legend, and then we continue on. Every single month we do that, until, Road to Legend doesn't exist, but what's a world without Road to Legend? All right, so I don't like anything. No, I might have kept the True Silver Champion just because we're playing against a mage, and apparently this morning, Hotform posted a deck guide on Tempo Yogg Mage, and our first game this morning is against a mage, so I'm going to assume he's playing Tempo Mage because people, they see a deck and they say, oh my god, this guy, he hit #1 Legend? Oh, what do you know, we're playing Tempo Mage. Oh my god, he hit rank 1 Legend with Tempo Mage? I've got to play Tempo Mage. I can be rank 1 Legend. It's like, as the deck is probably pretty good and you may win with it, it doesn't work like that. You can't just be like, oh, he did well with this deck, I'm gonna play with it, and I'm gonna do really well. As sometimes this does work out in your favor, it's not the way things work, guys. You can't just play a deck and become a pro. You actually have to understand why the deck works, and then know it's amazing to me sometimes. Well, rip, if the pings don't kill the 2-1, okay, I was going to get excited if they didn't kill the 2-1, because then we could have traded into the 3-2, but either way, we can just coin into the Kodo, and the Kodo will kill the 2-4, and then turn 5 can either be, Consecration feels really weak, but it depends what he plays here, but this Kodo is very important. Killing that Flame Waker is a big deal. And the whole point, we just have to make it to the late game, basically, because the second we can, start playing some of our bigger creatures, it'll be good. So leaving the Azure Drake alive seems really, really bad, but using Consecration to kill just 2 of these creatures does not feel good. Theoretically, we could swing the Kodo into there and then just play the Harrison Jones, as the Harrison Jones is never going to get any value. But the problem there is this 4 damage sits on the field. He definitely probably has a Fireball or a Frostbolt, and we're going to take at least 10 damage, followed by some more spells to face. So if we use Consecration and then swing into here, we don't really develop the board at all. And this guy's only at 1 HP, but then he pings and he has 4 mana left. And we do have 2 equalities. But I think the better, more sustainable play is just to make the value trade here and to play Harrison. As Consecration does seem like a really great card to play here, that's just, I have to develop something here, guys. But I have a feeling he's just going to go face with spells. So he's going to do, I know he's going face with this 4-4 without a doubt. There's another Arcane Blast. So he's ripped 2 of those so far and been able to combo it with the Drake. So this is definitely going to be an equality Consecration kind of turn. Well, yeah, there's no way around equality Concentration. Even though he's going to be able to ping this off, which is sad, we can't actually kill anything on his side and play a creature. If we go equality and kill a creature, that just doesn't feel that great.
Should I?
So it looks like it's going to be the equality kind of Consecration turn. And then we go face for 3. And then next turn, theoretically, we can combo Pyromancer with Equality and then play the Light Lord and heal ourselves for 8. But then he's probably... He doesn't run... We know... Oh, wow, he runs the Tome. So maybe he changed it up a little bit. This is good. So we're just going to hope that he didn't rip the a Polymorph out of the Tome, because the Bloodhoof is really, really good against most classes that don't have some sort of Polymorph. So like against Shamans, it's not so swell because they have Hex. Mages, they have, of course, Polymorph. But normally it's going to take quite a bit for him to get through this 4-5. So he rips the Polymorph. Rip in Polymorpho. Alright, so we're going to play the Rag, knowing that his Polymorph was kind of just used. So he's going to have to waste like either a Pyroblast, which he doesn't have enough mana for yet, a Fireball Frostbolt, which is 2 for 1. So there's a lot of good that came out of it. But it was kind of bad because our Death Rattle didn't die. So when we play N'Zoth, it won't bring back Karen. So there's the Fireball for 7 and then the Ping. Okie dokie. Well, we're at 24 health, so we're really not worried about dying. Using the Equality right now doesn't feel that great. If we bring the Mana Worms, like bringing the Mana Worms down, his health down to 1, it doesn't matter because his health is already 1. If we use Lay on Hands, it doesn't really develop anything.
Should I?
So this is it's a weird situation to be in. I almost just want to Lay on Hands, and if he decides he wants to fill up the board more, it's fine. Because we can just Equality Pyromancer. Theoretically, we could have smashed in the Mana Worm so we had a better concentration if he doesn't play anything, but I have the feeling he would have... yeah, he just pings. He'll probably play maybe like a all spells face. He probably won't play any creatures. Okay. Good move. All right. So we could go Doomsayer Justicar. Doomsayer Justicar passive, but then we're taking at least 7. He's used 1 Fireball, 7, 14. Oh, that's a lot. We can't attack with the True Silver. I guess we could play the Peacekeeper. We can't... Alright. So we're gonna do the... So this is a very defensive play. Because if he decides he wants to go face with all spells, this is fine, because then we can just maybe True Heart, Justicar, True Silver Champion. We still have 2 Forbidden Healings in our deck, so, which is quite a lot. He doesn't want these 2 creatures to die, but the smartest move is to basically just go face with whatever he has and then just let the 3/3s die. Maybe we could have probably gotten away with only playing 1 of the Peacekeepers. Yeah, we could have just maybe Peacekeeper the Mana Worm, and that would have been sufficient. Because, like, let's say he swung it all into the Doomsayer to make sure it didn't die, or he used a spell on it. He can only maybe kill 1 of the Peacekeepers, or he just goes face, which leaves us so he can True Silver Champion, Peacekeeper into 1, and then swing a weapon into another one. So here is this spell's face, which we assumed last turn. This is kind of what we foresaw. We might actually even be dead here. Yep, we're dead. So the key there was to just heal. Or to clear the board completely, but I mean, yeah. Can't really play around that too much. When you're at 20 health and he only has 2 creatures on the field and they have 1 attack each, you can't assume he got, you know, pure damage out of his tome. There's a lot of mage spells that you could have gotten, or he could have gotten. But we kind of have to we have to suspect the mage this morning. So we might play probably warrior, seem like the best. But Paladin's still good. Okay, we're gonna put everything back. Nothing seems really that great here. I'm trying to think of how we could have mitigated more damage last game, but like we didn't draw Doomsayers. We were frozen, so we couldn't even True Silver half the time. It was just not, we weren't in a great situation. Every single turn, we weren't in a great situation. Besides the turn, we were able to play the Karen and the Rag, and he was able to deal with that very efficiently, whether it be, you know, getting the +1 spell damage, paying, summoning 2 creatures, or just ripping the Polymorph because he had the ability to draw through the Arcane Intellect. So, not really sure what we could have done different there. I'm sure there was a couple moves that we could have done maybe a little differently, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Incredible.
Yeah. Incredible. Okay, so we could go with the hero power, or we could go with the Peacekeeper and make this a 1 attack. We have no turn 4 play. I think it's safe to say we can just make that a 1/2, and then just go face for 1. Because next turn the 3/3 can trade into the 1/2, but if he wants to go face with the 1/2, then our 1/1 will live. So he should probably just kill the 1/1, because if we would have hit this into the 1/1, it would have died anyway. So he actually did 1 more damage. Oh, it's gonna live. Okay, so now our best bet is like any sort of 4-drop. Enter the Coliseum is not the card we're looking for. This is fun, because his turn 4, I mean, I guess he could Houndmaster his 1/1, and that will be really bad, because then our Kodo gets no value. So we actually might have to make some changes to this deck to make it a little bit more early game friendly. So we might take out the Elise, put in another Harvest Golem, and go from there. So our turn 5 is going to be the Kodo. Unfortunately, we can't sit there and do a passive again. We're sitting on 2 Kodos in the hand. So we also could Elise. She's basically the same stats as the Kodo. So that was a semi-decent draw, I suppose. Problem with Elise is it's only good versus the another control matchup. So like, let's say we're playing a Warrior. In that case, we now have a new win condition besides N'Zoth against the Warrior, because after we've played N'Zoth and the Tyrion dies and like he's able to brawl, which is a really great field clear for Warriors against N'Zoth Paladin, we have the Elise, which, you know, is also a win condition for the Warrior. So we're not depending on the N'Zoth to finish out the game for us. We have the Elise for backup. But the problem is if you don't play control decks like another, you know, N'Zoth Paladin, Priest, or Warrior, you're basically hoping that you just don't draw some of your later game cards, like Elise and the map and stuff like that, because you're never going to map, because you're always going to be using your heals against hunters and stuff. So we're going on turn 6, which tells me Savannah Highmane is coming out soon. And if Savannah Highmane's coming out soon, if we play the True Heart, this is bad because it just dies to the Huffer. If we play the Stampede Kodo, that's horrible. But the Sylvanas Windrunner, he's going to have to either use a spell on it to deal with it efficiently, or he's going to have to use some sort of like Huffer and then something else. And then that delays him for the Savannah Highmane, which allows us to play the Tyrion before it comes out. Because if he plays the... let's say he doesn't do it this turn. It's his turn. He plays Savannah Highmane, then it's our turn. We Tyrion, because we still have, like buys us a couple turns. So it looks like the Hunter's Mark. Okay, and then the Huffer's gonna swing into it. Please don't tell me he used the. Oh boy! All right, Sylvanas take the Huffer. Oh man, that makes me sad. There's a 50-50 chance to ruin his day. He's gonna unleash the hounds for 1 hound to kill the Mastiff. Interesting. Alright, well. I guess we True Heart, right? There'd be no point to Stampeding Kodo passive that doesn't do much at all. So I guess we just True Heart, and the next turn we can Kodo into Harvest Golem, or we can Tyrion. But I think this is a pretty bad situation to be in. That Sylvanas was not a good thing. Theoretically, if we would have played the Kodo, it would have lived through the Eagle Horn Bow, and the Huffer would have died. But now, it does not. He finally won the joust for the Dread skill. He's been looking for the Dread skill for a long time now. Also, a Consecration would be really, really nice. So I think we just go for the Tyrion here, right? And I guess it's too good to pass up, and then next turn we can Forbidden Healing, or Kodo Forbidden Healing, or Harvest Golem Forbidden Healing, or right to the Coliseum. So I'm assuming these traps came from lock and load. There's the high main, which came from lock and load, which is pretty sick. There's concentration. If we make this attack here, and then we concentration, misdirection, freezing trap. Should have guessed that. Yes, we could have played around that a little bit better. I should have known that was a freezing trap, but I always expected those to have come out of the lock and load, and it's fucking 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh man. All right, so how do we not lose? I mean, that was a losing play. That was like horrible. I don't even know why. I was just like, yeah, sure, attack. Hunter with 2 secrets. Nah, freezing doesn't exist. So I guess we go enter the Coliseum, and we go Harvest Golem. But I'm pretty sure we still lose anyway. Because this is 9, 10, 11 damage. He needs 3 damage, 5 cards in hand as a Hunter. Attacking with the Tyrion was absolutely retarded. And I shouldn't say that word anymore. So that was very silly. Yeah, we lose. Alright. We must drink the coffee quickly. Alright, we'll play one more with this N'Zoth Paladin. I mean, we were playing it like Legend, and we went from like 3k Legend to 1.5 in like less than 45 minutes. So it's not that this deck, oh yeah, we were going to change off the Harvest Golem with Elise to kind of get us a little bit better early game. Because all we're going against is mid-range and aggro. So we're going to put another Harvest Golem in there. We haven't drawn Doomsayers, Humilities. We always draw Stampeding Kodo too early on. Harrison Jones hasn't come in really that clutch yet. But I think the card draw is important. Alright. So we'll try the double Harvest Golem. This is what I was playing. This is the exact same deck now that we played in for our deck guide. We didn't have, I don't think we had Elise in our deck guide. Man, why did I attack with the Tyrion? Like, what was I thinking? I was just like, 2 secrets, no problem. Come on, Tyrion, push through the frozen trap. Fuck me, dude. The second we change the Elise, we go against a warrior. Oh my god. I just mentioned that Elise is good against the warrior. So what happens? We go against it. What card back is that? It's whatever. We're just gonna, if he's control warrior, this is the last game I'm playing with Paladin. Because that just pisses me off, like, to the next level. But, if it's not control warrior, I don't care. Because, again, Elise will never get the value later on in the game. It's only those really late game control sort of matchups. So it's Dragon Warrior, which is not that incredibly crazy, so it's fine. So we're gonna coin out the Harvest Golem, because we have another 3-drop to follow up. We also have 2 4-drops, and I guess we could have coined out a 4-drop next turn and kill this, but getting the field is pretty important, because even if he War Axes the Harvest Golem, the 2/1 still kills his dragon. And then I don't want him to be able to get the dragon synergy if he draws into the, what is it called? I can't think of the name. Alright, so this can't be targeted by, it can't be targeted by creatures, so, bink. So if we would have made the Bloodscale Raider 1 attack and we attacked Harvest Golem, it wouldn't kill it, you know what I mean? So now in this situation, we still killed the creature and we developed a new creature. So now we can go with the Humility if we wanted. So there's a couple different options. We could go with Keeper of Uldaman, double trade, or we could go with the True Silver Champion, which I think is a little bit better. And then if we trade into here, we take 1 more damage, and the Harvest Golem can't kill anything. Unless we would have played the Keeper of Uldaman, which actually might have been a little bit better, because we have the Keeper of Uldaman, but this actually stays in its form. So we're actually going to make this trade here, and then next turn, let's say if he decides he wants to kill the Harvest Golem, or if we make the trade with the Harvest Golem, we can then Keeper of Uldaman, the 2/1 that comes out of it. So we basically, the 2/1 turns into a 3/3. So this is a fair start. But he'll probably just start going face, to be completely honest, from here. Okie dokie. Well, how do we want to do this? We don't want to unnecessarily take too much damage, to be honest, because if we swing into this, even if we humility this and make it at 1 HP, it's still, I do not want to attack it with our weapon, because we need as much healing as possible.
None may steal us.
So we're just going to make this into that 3/3 and then swing, and then we're going to save our weapon, unless we draw into another true silver. I don't think he can deal 13 damage in 1 turn. And I don't think we're going to draw into another true silver. He could do 13 damage in 1 turn. Who knows? Our luck this morning has not been fantastic. Alright, he can do 13 damage in 1 turn exactly. So we should have attacked with our weapon. And we would have been at 1 HP, or 2 HP. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh, this is good shit. Alright, now what do we want to play? Because I'm not playing that anymore, obviously. I don't know. This puts me in a mood of not wanting to play, but I will. What did we leave off with? I don't remember. I think we left off with mid-range shaman, so I guess we could go off and play some, we'll play some mid-range hunter, I suppose. This morning is brutal, right? Losing 3 games in a row. Ugh. Lost 3 games in a row before 8 a.m. in the morning. Feels bad, man. Hopefully that wasn't too loud in the mic. I know sometimes ruffling around can be annoying. Alright, so I really don't mind anything here. A huge toad into grub is fine, and then the deadly shot's cool because if he plays that 7/7, or the 4-drop 7/7, and then the Harrison's cool, which is not normally a card found in Hunter, but I play him just because of Shaman's playing Doomhammer. It's a really good starting card for him. So we'll actually coin into the huge toad. So now this can test this unless he has a lightning bolt. And if he has a lightning bolt, then we just quick shot that. Alright, Rockbiter works. So at least we got some damage off of him. Hopefully the huge toad hits face with the 1 damage. There it goes. Because if it would have hit the tunnel trog, it would have. He's still dying to the quick shot. Like no matter what, this happens. So it would have been 1 damage less to face. So the next turn we Karen. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll draw into the Houndmaster. So a smart thing for him to do here would be to double trade Wolf into the Karen because as we know, or he can just, well, he's still gonna do the double trade. All right. There's no point to quick shot one of these yet because the toad has a good chance to kill one of these actually. Oh my fucking god. What the hell is this shit, guys? We're getting dumped on this morning. I'm definitely not gonna deadly shot this. There's no point to do that. I guess this comes first, right? Hey, we won. I guess we quick shot. If we quick shot this, this is still a 3/2, and that's still a 2/3. And he trades the 2/3 into here, and this leaves the tunnel trog. If we quick shot this tunnel trog, this becomes a 9/7. He still makes this trade, and then it's either killing the flame tongue totem or the faceless, depending on what he attacks with. I don't know. We're at 25 HP, but we're about to take a fuck ton of damage. Guess we kill the tunnel trog. We'll just hope the deadly shot hits the 9/7. So I guess Unleash the Hounds is key right here. No Unleash the Hounds. And we lose again. Because he just goes face with his creatures. Holy shit, guys. This is the fastest way how to get back to rank 8. Alright, well. Time to go back to mid-range shaman. And then we go to Cthulhu Druid. No. I think we go to Cthulhu Druid now because the last game we played was mid-range, yeah. So it was mid-range shaman, hunter, Cthulhu, mid-range shaman, hunter, Cthulhu. We went from, what was it? On our part 1 of this, we were 1 game. Literally, we were just 1 game away. We were playing that priest, and that priest game was brutal. And now in 26 minutes, we've lost 4 games in a row.
Malfurion versus Brawl.
That's impressive time right there. That's real quick. I guess we can hold this hand. I mean, theoretically, you'd put back the Elder, right? Because we Living Roots on 1, we Wild Growth on 2, and then we want to play a 4-drop. But because I do not trust my RNG this morning. Like, I don't trust anything right now. We're just gonna go with whatever looks okay. Computer, stop making noises with the fan, please. Oh, by the way, guys, I would recommend never fucking buying anything from CyberPower PC. I used to buy all of my computer appliances from there. I bought all of my laptops from there. I bought my desktop from there. And like gradually throughout the years, like their quality of just like them caring about you has like decreased significantly. Like originally when I got my computer, nothing was like loose. Everything worked when you opened it. You called them, they were helpful. Now they like, it's just like the shittiest customer service I think I've ever come into contact with. And this most recent computer that they had, I bought this laptop only a couple months ago. So they sent me this laptop and the screen already had dead pixels in it. Like noticeable dead pixels, like at least 5 of them on the screen that you can see. Like you can just see them. That's really bad. And then they gave me not a corrupted version of Windows 10, but an invalid. Like they like conjured up some sort of code and it worked for a little bit and then it just didn't. And then they were like, oh, sorry, you're gonna have to buy a new Windows. I'm like, what? I'm like, I literally just got this computer from you guys a week ago and my code says it's invalid and it won't let me do anything on the computer. And you're gonna tell me I have to buy another one even though I just bought the computer. And then so I finally got him to give me a code that worked. All right, I think we'll just go Raven Idol into a spell. I'll continue this story in a second, guys. It gets a lot better. I think we go Innervate, right? Help me polarize, help me polarize. Oh, not that card. Mulch is okay, but I think Innervate's our best bet here. And then we're gonna kill the 3-2. All right, and then so, dead pixels, corrupted copy of window, the mouse pad on the actual machine, like if the machine stays on for more than 10 minutes, it just stops working because it gets too hot. And they put the graphics card not next to the fans, they put it on like the graphics card in this computer, the layout of it, which is their like personal computer, like they made this computer, so they designed the inside of it. Or I guess we'll go Azure Drake and we'll kill one of these wolves depending on what we draw. Yeah. It's like set up internally horrible, so like the fans squeak when they turn, which is just bad product. And I had paid to upgrade the fans in this laptop, which was like $1,400 laptop. It's not like a cheap laptop. I saved up forever. Like every 2 years or 3 years, I put money aside every week to buy a new laptop so I can, hopefully make good quality videos. They're not laggy. I'm able to render quickly so the videos can get to you guys. Like it requires a certain standard, to do what I do, it requires a certain, computer kind of machine. You can't just do it with, your hippy-dippy Walmart, like Bob's Salute computer. So, yeah, it's just like this laptop has been nothing but trouble. It took me 3 weeks to get it working before it could work to the point where I could record a video and not have to worry about something breaking. Like, it was like Tony and Matt were making fun of me. They're like, bro, you have the worst luck with everything. In Hearthstone, in life, with your computers, anything you buy never works. Every time someone ships something to you, it just breaks. It's just like, dude, you suck. Get away from me. But yeah, so Now I have to find a new website or a company to buy our computers from. Because CyberPower PC, I refuse to buy anything from them again. Even though they have the best prices for don't get me wrong, their prices are great, and that's why I always used to go there. And they're like options, a variety of like what you can put into your computer is good. They like throw away freebies, but like the quality of them like in these computers is just degraded over time. We bought a server tower, and they didn't even hook up the memory in the computer. It was just when they got it to us, there was like cords hanging out with shit like bending and wires like already fraying because they were rubbing against the inside metal pieces because they never seated the actual the hard drives of the computer. They just threw them in there like they were fucking like, I don't know. They was just like, oh, there you go, how you doing? It's just like, what the freak is wrong with you guys? All right, so I think this is where the Innervate's going to come in clutch. So we'll go Azure Drake, see what we draw, Innervate, and then the Weaver. And this is going to be pretty difficult for this Shaman to get through. Unless he has Hex. So like Flame Tongue Hex here is like, he'd Flame Tongue in between these guys, he'd swing the Totem Golem into the Azure Drake and then Hex the 410, and then swing his Totem into the 410. So clears board, and then he still has Flame Tongue Totem out. Flame Tongue and a Totem out. Okie dokie. All right, so we can go the +2/+2 route here and make these guys pretty good, or we can just go Innervate out and just summon the 2/2s. I think that's the best bet here. I'm just going to hope he doesn't run Lightning Storm. So this is going to swing into here. This is going to swing into here to play around Flame Tongue. And I guess we could go for a spell. We probably should have done this before we even innervated, but it's fine. I don't think it would have changed what I was going to do at all. And we're going to go with Starfall just because we can deal with the 7/7 if he decides he wants to Lightning Storm and go face, which I have a feeling could be a possible play on his part. So it'd be like Lightning Storms goes face, then we just Starfall this. So Azure Drake, no Lightning Storm. So if he trades into one of these, then we can just go ahead and, like I said, Starfall this dude. Or we could just do 3 damage to everything. Nah. So we're just going to do 6 damage to this. This is happening. If this hits here, it's Lightning Stormable. If this hits here, it's still at 4 HP, which is well, I think this going into here is fine. Keep this and ours healthy. And then we win next turn. See, this is fine. We won a game, guys. It only took 5 games. It's probably because we went on such a win streak, right? Like, we haven't really lost a ton this season. And normally there's always like 1 or 2, or maybe 3 moments in our like kind of road to legend where we just get stuck, right? Like, we just do not rank up at all. But it kind of stinks that we ran into this early on. Normally we want to, I guess it's fine. I'd rather, lose before we get to rank 5. Because losing at ranks 5 to 1, as we mentioned, there's no win streak. So it's really not so swell. And there's also a couple things I wanted to talk to you guys about. I made my little Word file over here. So there's been a lot of chatter in the chat asking, hey, what can I do to help the channel? I don't necessarily have money to like go ahead and like, do we have lethal? Like this swings into here and then this hits for 5 and then that's 10, that's 14. Yeah, so theoretically, retarded. I shouldn't say that. Bad Rob, we are silly goose. We could have just swiped face and it would have killed the totem anyway, but whatever. Recognizing what we could have done, guys. Better plays in the future. So, we're now no longer going to go to rank 8. That would have been really, really sad. Like, really sad. So there's been like people asking like, hey, I don't necessarily have money to donate, which is totally understandable. We don't ask for donations. It's not our core. We don't sit there and try to drain your wallet. That's not the point of the end. But it was like, how can I help if I don't, can't donate? And I guess everybody, if you play Hearthstone, you most likely have at least one other friend that plays Hearthstone. Most of the time we don't just solo Hearthstone unless you're me, and then I try to convince Tony to play, but we all know Tony barely plays. But I think do we keep the 3/4 and we have coin? I think we do. So we all have at least that one kind of friend who plays Hearthstone. Whether it's serious or not, it doesn't really matter. Word of mouth, guys. Like the best way to spread this is if you guys like the channel, and obviously if you're friends with someone, they probably have some similar interests to you or like you in a way. So not like you in a way, are like you as a way in a way. We're gonna Raven Idol for a spell, and then I'll go back to the chat, or get back to the story, or get back to whatever I was saying. Wow. So Mark of the Wild's a no. It's in between Feral Rage and Bite, right? So, I think we go for Feral Rage. As Bite does give us, I think we just go for the Rage. And then next turn's Innervate into Elder, Innervate into Disciple, depending on what he plays. So word of mouth, guys. Just basically, like, if you have a friend, just be like, hey, check out In Gaming. If they don't, that's okay. You tried. But if they do, then it's just like, okay, well, you helped us out more than, you know, basically a $5 donation would or anything like that. Because if the person actually watches our videos and then they tell another friend, that, you know, it's like a spider web effect. And so that's how you can help the Inn. For those of you who may not, you know, have, you know, all the money in the world to donate, which is totally understandable. Just if you enjoy the Inn enough to tell a friend about it, that's fine. And if you don't, that's fine too. Don't feel pressured in any way. That's not the point of us. We're here to help and get salty that we lose 4 games in a row. So we could go for the 2/1/1 Groots and then passive, which I kind of like more than the Disciple. Well, no, I like the Disciple more. You know why? Because if we Disciple and then we swing, our Cthulhu's going to be a 10/10 next turn, and then we're going to be able to play the Weaver. We would have Living Roots, we wouldn't have been able to play this Weaver. So even though we didn't like Disciple and kill a creature, it gave our Cthulhu the ability to, or give the Weaver to proc next turn. So it's a 4/10, which was really, really hard for a rogue to deal with, like really hard. We could swipe and go face, or we could just Weaver. I think I like the Weaver. And then we just go face. Because we can, if he decides he wants to swing his 5/4 into the 3/4 and like think we're gonna make the value trade with the 4/10, we can just swipe face or use our passive. So I think this is fun. Also, some questions are, when do I get out of school? So at the moment, I've got 3 more, from when this video is being made right now, which is the 16th, I think. Yeah, the 16th. I have 3 more weeks. And then after those 3 weeks, I only have taken classes in summer B. I only took classes in summer A, which means I have the entire summer B to make videos for you guys, which is really, really nice. So I'm gonna try to post more on this channel, and In Gaming Plays, which is our other channel, that we post like Let's Plays. And I'm gonna hopefully post some Overwatch on there for you guys, maybe get back into the Dark Souls. It's just Dark Souls is one of those games where you have to kind of play it a lot to do really well, and it's hard. Not that I don't like, you know, games that are difficult, but it's just like channels who play Dark Souls-esque games only play those kind of games. It's not like you can just, it's kind of like Hearthstone. You can't just hop right in Hearthstone and be the best. Like Dark Souls, there's grinding involved. I just don't have time for that if you want to see Hearthstone content. So like games like Zelda are like RPGs where you could just load it up and get right into it. And if you're a good player, you'll do well. Those are the kind of games I want to aim to play, not so much the games like Dark Souls. Not that I don't like Dark Souls. Okay, so what do I see here? I don't see anything that fantastic, to be honest, guys. So I guess we can Druid to the Claw, and then we're going to kill this Azure Drake. The reason being we didn't swipe anything right now is because we actually have a sizable amount of burst damage. We have 4/4 and then 2 and 2, so we have 12 burst with 7, 8, 9 mana. So it's pretty good. So what did he use? What spell? Oh, he sapped it back to our hand, and it looks like he might just go face. Okay, that's perfectly fine. All right, so we're actually gonna utilize the swipe here. So we're gonna do the swipe of dipes. And now we can swing into here and kill this, or we can Wrath it, but we're not going to do that. Or we can hit it for the double 2 and keep this at a 4/6. Well, I don't really like that much. Let's do 2/1/1s. I like the 2. Yeah, we'll just do this. We don't need to do this one yet because he can still have Fan of Knives. we're not gonna be super susceptible to Fan of Knives, but we'll still, you know, we'll summon half the army of Groots. The army of Groots instead of the armies of Stormwind. Look how happy they are too. Just so cheerful little trees. That's like one of the main reasons I like Resto Druids so much in World of Warcraft when I raided. Like, the tree form just looks so cool to me. Just like this tree running around, casting Life Bloom, doing their nourishes. They had the circle that summoned a bunch of trees and stuff. And they had Tranquility, and they never used any mana. And they had like this spell that made it so they get back all their mana. Innervate, I believe it was called. I'm almost 100% sure that's what it was called. So it was just like such cool stuff. We're going to Azure Drake, and then we're just going to Wrath and deal 4 damage to this, and then we'll swing for 1. Unfortunately, we're using our some of our spells like Living Roots to fill the field up, but I still think we're pushing a decent amount of damage next turn, right? So if like we use this, that's 4, that's 8, 9, 12, 13. All right, never mind. Rip to the Azure Drake. Fandrel's pretty sick. So like Fandrel into Feral Rage to kill this, or we go Azure Drake into 3 into passive, or we could just go Druid of the Claw into Feral Rage, but this is 7, and then we have room for 1 more, which is a Living Roots. So I actually like the Fandrel. Or we could just do the Raven Idol instead of the Living Roots. We know we're doing Feral Rage. We know that's a thing. And I think we're going to go with the Raven Idol just because it's a little bit better than the Living Roots in terms of value. I think we're going to go with another Fandrel. And then we can go with either another Raven Idol or an Innervate. If we Innervate, we could do the Living Roots.
Time waits for no one.
I think we go with another Raven Idol because we play... Yeah, I was going to say, if we play 2 of them, that doesn't change its effect. But we can play another Fandrel into a Raven Idol. Because we can assume he's going to die this turn, so if like, we picked up the Innervate, it wouldn't have been that great.
These guys are toast.
Okay. I guess we could have picked up the Innervate, because then we could have Azure Drake, Fandrel, Innervate, Living Roots. So we know we want a Drake, and we know we want a Living Roots, and that's 6 mana. And then there's nothing really that great to do besides that. We could go with the Strangle. Yeah, I guess we could do that, right? So let's go with another another Fandrel. We'll go with the Raven Idol first. Our Raven Idol gave us another Fandrel. That's insane. Chromagus, Gormok, or Onyxia, right? You already used 1 Fan of Knives, so I kind of like the Onyxia. And then another Feral Rage, oh my goodness gracious. So we can actually Feral Rage this thing down again, right? Or Feral Rage is there, and then we'll Living Roots space. And now if he has a Living Roots, or he has a fan, he'll want to use his Fan of Knives now, and then when we play the Onyxia, he won't have another Fan of Knives, which is really good. Yeah, our Living Roots have been clutch with the Fandrel, man. That's key. So there's the fan, so now he does not have a fan for when we play Onyxia, which was why we Living Roots for only 2 damage face, but he made it so it kind of baited out that fan. See, guys, I swear I'm not a bad player. It's just sometimes we just get really unlucky. Oh. So we've discussed the other channel in my time in school. We've discussed how you can help the channel without donations. And then this last thing I wrote, it's kind of, it doesn't have to do with really, oh no, what's going on here? I feel a conceal in our future.
The Brotherhood shall...
Nah, just a Van Cleef, and then he's gonna kill this, okay. Okay. I mean, so we could just theoretically go Onyxia here, or we could just go Druid of the Claw, Azure Drake. I think this is fun. For those of you who are new to the inn, a lot of people are like, why don't you have 150k subs or more? Why aren't you 500k subs? Why this? Why that? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? This channel is basically run by two college kids that, we don't have all the money in the world for advertising. We're not sponsored by a team. We're not sponsored by anything, really. So, just keep in mind that there's a limitation to what we can and can't do. Like, I wish we had a budget for marketing, and I wish I could, use Google AdWords and, promote our stuff more. I wish I could, have the time to be a super competitive Hearthstone player and to go to tournaments. I wish I had enough time to stream on Twitch. Like, there's a lot of things that if we didn't have school and work, I would, pump the rest of my time into the channel. But you just gotta remember there is limitations on what me and Tony can't do, and especially we've seen less and less of Tony, and that's just because Tony's, he's just off doing his life things. I mean, he doesn't have necessarily all the time in the world like he used to. Not that he had all the time in the world to, be in the deck guides with me, all of this stuff. I mean, it's not, maybe when we get, the lots of subscribers and stuff, and we're able to kind of promote and we get sponsors and it helps out with, funding wise, maybe Tony might be, more interested in being more of a part, because then he's actually able to get some money out of it. But unfortunately, money's a driver, guys, and without it, people just don't want to do stuff, which is totally understandable, but I'll be here no matter what. So, as always, guys, we're going to call this here. We're at 47 minutes. We won our past 2 games with the Cthulhu Druid, so we'll just keep the Cthulhu Druid rocking. Theoretically, we're only 2 games away if we can win the next 2, because then we go on that win streak. So hopefully we can get to rank 6 in part 3. I promise, with this normally until rank 5, 2 parts is normally the max, but 3 parts is fine. We saw what happened earlier. So, as always, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I'm Warshack and happy whatever the hell day it is.